And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Friday, July 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. We welcome you on a Friday morning. And we're here, of course, to talk about Wilson Bank and Trust this morning. We've got Brandon Martin here for the bank. Brandon, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's nice to see you, and you are a mortgage lender. So you're lending money. You got the money to lend, and what a mortgage lender indicates, I guess, mostly home loans. Is that mostly what you do?
Home loans, yes, sir. We do everything from first-time home buyers, VA, FHA, conventional 30-year fixed mortgage, USDA rural development loans. So we've got a wide spectrum of products that we can offer.
Well, how long you been at the bank?
Been at the bank a little over 7 years now.
Did you have some banking experience prior to coming?
Prior, no, sir. No, sir. I was.
Well, you didn't start in as a mortgage lender.
I did not start in as a mortgage lender. No, I had to learn it the hard way. So,
what did they have you doing first?
I previously I sold insurance a long time ago, and then sold football equipment, middle schools, youth leagues across Middle and East Tennessee. So, worked for a large helmet manufacturer and sold football equipment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you started at the bank.
At the bank? At the bank, I started in mortgage, and I started with the whole process. So I've done everything from the back office side of mortgage lending all the way to originating the loans. So,
yeah. Well, do you enjoy this? I would think if you didn't, you'd be asking to do something else.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always a good time when you can help somebody buy a house or their first home and get into their dream home. So that's always rewarding.
Well, we're talking off the air here. Of course, interest rates have gone up a little bit, but compared to a long time ago, they're still extremely low.
Yeah, if we throw out the last 2 years, we're still historically low interest rates, and it's just we got spoiled for a period of time there with abnormally low rates. But things are starting to kind of level off and move sideways for right now.
Well, it seems that our land value and maybe existing homes are worth so much more than they were just a few years ago.
Absolutely.
How has that affected what you do?
The demand for housing here is gone up so drastically in just a couple year period here that the competition to get a home, when you have someone pre-approved and ready and able to buy a home, they are faced with a multiple offer situation, and we have to get creative and work with the realtors and try to find the best way to present that offer so our offer stands out and buyers can get
well, I know the bank has had a line, something like we try to say yes more often, or we do say yes more often. And I know as big as Wilson Bank is, you have multiple ways of coming up with a way to help somebody. Every once in a while, you still have to say no, I guess.
I mean, we try not to. So occasionally, we try to help people if they come in with a situation where their credit scores don't qualify or meet the minimum qualifications. We try to help educate them and get them to where, 6 months, a year from now, they can buy that home and try to help work with them.
Can most people whose credit rating is not the most attractive take a little time and improve that? Is that fairly easy to improve if you really work at it?
Yeah, for the most part. There's some good resources out there that you can, work to try to establish that credit and build it over. A lot of times it just takes time, and that would be the key factor to building some credit. But it's better to have no credit than bad credit. It's a little easier to get that score up a little faster. But there are ways to.
But then again, there are a number of different options, and I would think as a mortgage lender, you try to find the one that best fits the particular situation.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have everything from no money down, first time home buyers, or people that just don't have money to put down to buy a home. So we've got loan products for that, and then we've got your traditional conventional loan. So then everything in between.
Is there a best case scenario?
Not really. No, I mean, it's just, we try to find.
Depends on the situation with who's applying for the loan.
Very much so. Yeah. So we try to find, being at the bank, we have, we've got our mortgage team, and then we've got our team of in-house lenders that we can get creative and try to get, if you may not fit in a certain box, we can get creative and try to blend some products together from the bank side into our side and help people that may not be able to get a home otherwise.
A lot of people you deal with first-time home buyers.
It's a good mix, yeah. I mean, I do several. I've actually got a first-time home buyer closing today, so I've got a good mix of first-time home buyers and people that have been in the market for a while.
But I guess you do get to know them pretty well, and especially if they come back for a second time and kind of do the process over again.
Absolutely, yeah. Doing it 7 years now, I've had a very good share of repeat business. So I've been able to work with some families over 2 or 3 times. I've worked with some families, and then their children are getting out of college and getting a job, and so I've been able to kind of see them grow. And
Well, I think this is sort of like in any time in selling, when you have a repeat customer, you appreciate that, because that seems to say, I like what you did the first time.
absolutely, yeah. The referrals are always the greatest compliment we could get from a realtor or an existing customer. That's always a welcomed.
Well, since you brought your crystal ball, well, you anticipate interest rates continuing to climb a little bit.
I mean, I think, the Fed rate, yes. Mortgage rates got ahead of the Fed rate, and without doing a dissertation on the mortgage rates, we were higher before the Fed started raising rates. So it has to do with the bond market and mortgage-backed securities. But as far as my mortgage rates, I think there's going to be a period of volatility. So we're going to see high days, low days, but I think we're in a sideways trend for a period of time, and who knows?
All right. Anything else you want to say? We've got another minute here this morning. Anybody that's interested in talking about a loan, I'm sure you'd be glad for them to give you a holler.
Absolutely.
Where are you located? We didn't establish that.
I'm located right here in Lebanon at the main office.
Main office
Yes, sir.
on West Main Street.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. Well, Brandon Martin, thank you for being with us this morning, and we hope you make a lot of loans. Closing's always a fun time.
Absolutely.
And you got one today.
I got
at least one.
Got a couple today, actually.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, thanks for being with us today. Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, we're about approaching 10 minutes after the hour. And this morning, I have incumbent trustee Jim Major here to talk about Election Day that's coming up on, I believe it's August the 4th, the first Thursday in August. Jim, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, and it's good to see you today. I'll talk a little bit for you here, because we had an election in May, the Republican primary, and you were nominated to run for trustee in by the Republican Party. So the general election coming up here in August, and you do have an opponent, and you are here this morning but for those who don't know who Jim Major, and I think when you say Jim Buckwheat Major, that's okay too. Most people, your friends, have known you that for a long time, right?
Oh, yeah, for a long time.
Well, tell us a little bit about you, if you will. For those who don't know who Jim Buckwheat Major is, to talk a little bit.
Well, I was born in Wilson County at Martha Gasson Hospital. I went to Holland High School, and I finished at Lebanon High School, and spent 1 year at Coleman University.
Now, when were you elected trustee?
In 2006.
So you've been trustee since that time, and you're asking for another term.
That's true.
And no doubt you have learned a lot on the job. I don't think anybody knows everything about an office when they take it over at first, but you would surely be touting your experience there in the office for this period of time.
Yes, you cannot put a price on experience.
You feel that you're fully staffed at this time. You've got you've got enough to do to do the job and get it done right.
Yes, I have 7 ladies that work in the office. They do a tremendous job. They're very courteous, very knowledgeable. I'm very lucky to have them.
I noticed when I drove up this morning, you got here before me on your truck out there. It says Jim Major, the taxpayer's friend. Uh, how are you a friend to the taxpayer?
Well, I've bid the money out. Make sure it's making money and not just putting it in one bank and leaving it all the time. So I am definitely the friend of the taxpayer.
Well, I think you have done. You've helped initiate some things to help maybe some people with lower income not to have to pay to get a tax break. In other words, talk about that a little bit.
Yes, we have a tax relief program. If your income is under a certain amount, then I can give you a $300 discount off here.
Well, this is something I think that you carried to the county commission and got them to approve and maybe increased it, if my memory is right.
The first time I went before the county court, I got $100. Then I went back and got another $100. Now today, it's the qualified elderly. You got to be 65 years old.
You have somebody in your office that helps people do that too, right?
Yes, sir. I have Lisa Crockett and Don Bennett. They're the two tax relief people.
So you've had, and I know we've even done some programs over the years about this, just to let people know what was there for them, those that qualify. But it is something to help people who are on maybe low income and fixed income, who have a little bit difficulty even, who need a tax break.
That's true.
And I think there's something for veterans that you might talk about. I don't know how much you had to do with this, but isn't there a break for some veterans even?
Yes, I went before the county court and got the qualified veterans extra $100 off their property tax. I'm real proud of that.
You've had a number of people who have, and I know that you've pushed this because I think you wanted to help people get the break you felt like they deserved.
Yeah, oh yeah, anytime you can help anybody in any way, that's the right thing to do.
Well, as you campaign, no doubt you had to campaign and get the Republican nomination, and that was you had an opponent then, of course, and you won a pretty sizable win for you there, and you got one more hurdle here. What are you hearing? Is it pretty favorable at this point?
Well, to be honest with you, yes, it is.
Yeah. You want 4 more years in that office?
Yes, I'd like to have 4 more years. The people of Wilson County has been mighty nice to me, been mighty good to me.
All right, it's time for us to take a break. Jim Major, candidate for trustee, Republican nominee for trustee, is my guest here this morning. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They've got a large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to clean up an earlier wreck over there on M Hill Pike. It's about the 1500 block. It really wasn't that serious. Melrose at Nolensville Pike was still there, getting some attention on that earlier fender bender. Traffic's picked up out here where you pretty much would expect coming in from Dixon County I-40 East, coming past 840 through Kingston Springs. Some radar. Be careful. Ripley's has a great summer camp experience lined up for the kids. Check it out at Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Charles Lehman is asking for your vote for Wilson County Trustee August 4th. Charles grew up in Noreen and has been a lifelong resident of Wilson County. Charles Lehman brings a strong education tempered with decades of experience to provide the citizens of Wilson County with a rock-solid background for their next trustee. Working as an appraiser for the comptroller of the Treasury for 34 years and going into real estate after retirement, Charles brings a strong foundation to serve as your next trustee. Paid for by committee to elect Charles Lehman Treasurer.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on this Friday morning. Jim Major, candidate for trustee, is with us. I want to talk just a minute with you about your father. Mr. John Major was trustee years ago, and you no doubt have memories of him being trustee, and maybe you patterned your time in the office, maybe after some things you learned from him.
Yes, my father was trustee for 13 years. He really enjoyed serving the public, and he told me one thing. He said, you can never be too nice to people.
One of the other things that you are known for is being a baseball fan, and the New York Yankees. You're not wearing it this morning. You got a Yankee ring I've seen on your finger a few times. How did you come to be such a Yankee fan?
Well, when I was growing up playing Little League ball, Babe Ruth, you had Mickey Mantle and all that bunch, and it's just hard not to pull for them. So.
Well, it wasn't hard for me not to pull for them.
No, you're Cincinnati Red.
Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris in 1961 had a great team. They had some really great players, and is that about the time that you really started following them?
That's true. That's when I really first started following.
Well, you've enjoyed baseball and softball in your younger days. I don't remember your Babe Ruth, Little League and Babe Ruth playing necessarily, but I do remember you were when you were first baseman on the softball team.
Played first base for Lee Alco. And
how long did you do that?
About 5 years.
So y'all did some traveling, didn't you?
Yeah, we'd go to Alabama, we'd go to Florida, we'd go to just different places, Memphis. We had a good team.
Who's some of the guys you played with? You remember any of them?
Yeah, it's Wayne Baines, Pat Martin that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And Allie Skeen was our manager.
Alan Skeen.
Will Frank Grandstaff, he played.
Yeah. Well, you won more than you lost, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, we had a good team.
And this was Lee Alco's, Charles Bell and Lee Alco were.
And Charles Bell was a real sponsor.
Yeah.
Let's see, I started out in Little League, then I went to Babe Ruth, and American Legion. Then on Sunday, we used to have baseball on Sunday.
Now, who'd you play for then?
Watertown.
Oh, okay. Well, you've been quite a baseball fan all these years. I know that. You were telling me this morning Yankees won yesterday or last night, whenever they played.
6-5.
Who did beat?
Boston Red Sox.
Oh. what a competition there's been there over the years. They've both been around ever since, well, I guess since 1900 or so, when really baseball really started going, and prior to the turn of the century there, it was just getting started. But once you got going and had the World Series every year, and you had 8 teams in the American League, 8 in the National League for ever so long, but most of it was in the eastern part of the country. But the Yankees and the Red Sox are two of the big names there for sure.
When the Yankees first started, they were called the Highlanders. Then they changed their name to the Yankees.
Yeah. You never did tell me where that ring is.
I'll show it to you.
Well, back to being trustee. You, I'm sure you have some friends or some people come in. They find out you're the Yankee fan, especially if you got the ring on. That's a conversation piece, huh?
Yeah, I'm proud of that ring.
How'd you get it?
Well, George Steinbrenner sent it to me,
George Steinbrenner sent it to you.
the owner of the Yankees.
How much did you have to send him to get it?
He just heard I was a big Yankee fan, so he sent me one. I appreciate it.
Are you kidding me?
I was serious.
George Steinbrenner sent you your Yankee ring.
Coleman, I'm pulling your leg.
Oh, well, you want to make any prediction about who's going to be in the World Series this year?
Well, sure, the Yankees. And
Well, the way they're going, I wouldn't bet against them. I tell you
now
that.
they got a good team this year.
Well, let's get back to being trustee for a minute here. You've seen a lot of change over the years. I don't think there's the biggest thing probably that's changed in your office has been the computerization and that sort of thing. You have a computer system and a lot. You do a lot there that you didn't probably when you first started, I would think.
Well, that's true. It's all changed. But I have 7 women that really is really knowledgeable, and they're very courteous. I have people stop me on the street and tell me how pleasant their business is was with us.
Two of the busiest times in the trustee's office is that I've observed, and I'm not there much, but I usually go and pay my taxes in person towards the end of the year. I don't wait till the last day of December. But
Well, that's good. I wish everybody did.
but then you get quite busy right at the end of the calendar year. But then you've got till the end of February, and you are really busy February 27th, 28th, and all that time.
Oh, yeah, that's when I'm real busy.
You get to see people probably then. That's the only time you ever see them.
Sometimes.
Some of your friends?
Sure. See them about one time a year.
Yeah. It is. Do you dread that really?
Oh, no, I don't dread it at all. I look forward to it. Really, I do.
Well, now, of course, here again, being trustee, the funds are paid to your office, and you deposit them. And again, you have the choice, as I understand it, of where that money is deposited, and I think you're continuing to bid that out.
Sure.
The banks that will give the county the best deals, the ones that get the money. That's the way it works?
Yes,
right?
sir.
And you plan to continue that, no doubt.
No, most definitely.
I think you've made a lot of friends by doing that, and as the word has gotten out, people seem to appreciate the county getting all they can out of the money that's over in reserve. Until it's spent, it's somewhere drawing a little interest, if that's possible.
Sure. Every piece of legislature, I always do the bidding out through.
And I think people that you sort of started something there.
I did, and I appreciate people. They'll stop me on the street and say, "Mr. Major, I really appreciate the way you bid the money out. I really have started something."
How heated, or maybe that's not the right word. How much excitement is there about this election that's coming up here?
Well, it's got people so confused because this is the first time we ever had a primary. And a lot of people think that's the final vote. But on August the 4th, which is my birthday, they have a general election, and that's the main one.
Right.
But so many people are confused that they just don't know because they've never had it before.
Yeah, the primary was in May, and you were nominated, and now you're here, and you have an opponent. You had one opponent in the primary.
Primary.
Of course, you won that, and then you got an opponent here in the general election. So you've had to run twice, and that's the first. Is this the first time you've ever had to run twice?
Sure, first time Wilson County's ever had a primary.
Is it needed?
Well, I'm not sure.
You take a fifth on that one.
Take
But it is what it is, and the general election, of course, is August 4th. Early voting, I believe, starts next week, doesn't it?
Starts on the 15th.
15th of July, and we'll go until about a week before the election or so, and then the election on August 4th. Well, you've been in there for a while. You say you and 7 people in that office.
That's true.
Do you have anybody else at a peak time, part time?
I did that one year, but I found out that it really wasn't needed, so I just stick with the 7 people.
And you collect the money, but you don't have anything to do with the tax rate.
No, sir.
People get you and the property assessor mixed up sometimes.
Oh, they do. You got my taxes too high. I ain't got a thing in the world to do with taxes. One thing, that's your tax assessor.
Well, you've heard that a few times.
I've heard it several times.
Well, we're about to the end of our program here. I'm going to let you kind of summarize. Say what you said at the beginning and a little more here about why you should continue to be trustee of Wilson County.
Well, I've been your trustee for 16 years, so I must be doing something right. And I would like to continue. I would appreciate your vote, appreciate your support. Anytime I can help anybody, just let me know and I'll do it.
All right. Well, again, early voting starts next week on the 15th of July.
That's right.
And then the election day, if you want to wait till election day, it'll be on August 4th.
August 4th.
And we'll find out whether you're going to continue to be our trustee or not.
Oh, yeah, I'll know that.
Jim Major, candidate for trustee this morning, been my guest. We're going to take a break here, and part 2 is coming up. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And at 7:31, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, and they've got that battery installed on most vehicles. $134.95. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. A steady flow of traffic continues down the interstate as we check it out live over here on I-40 coming through Kingston Springs, making your way out of Dixon County this morning. It's picked up through Mount Juliet, 65 southbound near Armory. We're checking on a possible wreck there. 1500 M Hill Pike. That wreck is in its clearing stages. It did have some minor injuries. Prince's Hot Chicken is hiring at all their locations. Check it out at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
And now, a moment of silence to remember our dear friend.
Sorry. Oh, man.
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. With a wide range of air conditioners, furnaces, and heat pumps, Rheem makes it easy to feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
There's a reason why more home buyers and sellers trust A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction to get the job done. A.G. & Johnson offers what you want: more knowledge, more personal attention, more convenience. When you love what you do, it shows. That's why we have been voted the best of Wilson County by you, our clients. Discover the A.G. & Johnson difference. We are trusted by your neighbors for a reason. Call 615-444-0909 or visit us online today, agandjohnson.com, your community trusted realty and auction company.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Stephen Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you can afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
Excessive heat remains in place for one more day here today before slightly cooler air comes back for the weekend. Highs on this Friday would be up into the upper 90s with a heat index hovering around 110. Stay hydrated and stay indoors as much as you can. This will also be important with the storm chance, a few of which could be severe. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Eric Striva.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Friday morning. We always always have a good time till the on-air light comes on. Then we have another good time, but a different kind of good time.
That's right.
We got the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty here as usual. We got Miss Judy and Medina, and they're going to tell us all about their great service they offer, answering the phone 24 hours a day. They're people you can trust, and we, of course, welcome you again on a Friday morning.
Good morning, Coleman. No, we were just talking about, I was born up in Statesville. All my mom's family was born in Statesville. So I went to school Watertown first and half of second grade. So I was a Watertown girl in the beginning. So all my roots go back to Possum Holler in Statesville.
We'll add all that to what you were telling about you living where the racetrack is now.
That's right.
That was later on.
That was later on. So I went from Possum Holler to the Speedway.
Yes. Well, Medina, how are you?
I'm good. And she went to the Speedway and never slowed down yet.
How's things going with your project on Fridays for the...
It's going really good, and thank you for bringing that up, because I was just going to remind everybody to stop by our office parking lot today between 10:30 and 2 for Chick-fil-A. And, we're trying to let the corporate Chick-fil-A know that Lebanon is ready for their second store, and we want it to be on the west side of Lebanon.
You want it closer to you.
Yes, closer to me would be really nice. But yeah, from 10:30 to 2, and come by. And it's a limited menu, but come by, just pull in the parking lot, walk to the tent there, and order your food and get it and leave. It's real quick and fast, and that just shows corporate that we're ready for another Chick-fil-A.
All right, you got a lesson for us today?
No, I don't think I have a lesson today. I was going to just start kind of reminding people that the fair's coming around the corner here. School's going to be going back in a few weeks, and everybody's going to be talking about school going back. And then right after school goes back, then we're into that fair mode. Of course, we have to get into it quite a bit earlier than a lot of people do, just so we can get all ready and get our moon pies. They're ordered, and they'll start shipping those in here. And slowly but surely, and then we'll be undoing the boxes, because if we don't have time to open all the boxes and do all that at the fair, so we have to open all those and get them ready before we go out there.
Tell you what, that fair is just like another job for you for a while.
Oh, for 10 days. Well,
Yes.
really, we're out there for 10 days, but there's a lot of work before, and then there's a lot of work after.
Yeah.
But, organizing everything and getting all the giveaways ready, and it just opening all the moon pies and getting them in baskets and sorting the flavors and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It takes a little while, because when you're out there, it's not like you've got time to open a bunch of boxes. And you just don't have time to do that. Plus, you got all the boxes to dispose of. So we've learned the hard way, open it all up, get it ready. And that used to be Granny's job, was sit at home and open all the boxes. So now we have to figure out all the stuff she did for us. We got to pinch hit now and do it ourselves.
Well, but it's a lot of work and a lot of hard work for y'all, I know. But you made so many friends, and people appreciate that air conditioned cabin so much. And I'm one of them. I love to bring my food over there, and you never know who you're going to meet in there.
That's
but you're always
That's
going
right.
to see one of y'all.
That's
and,
right.
And Mike, how's Mike?
He's
by the way?
doing good. He's getting ready for it too. He'll go out there and start spraying. He'll spray around the cabin for weeks to make sure the grass is all killed around it, and the weeds, and make sure he sprays for bugs and spiders and stuff. He just likes to make sure there's no mosquitoes around it. And because when people come and bring food, you get flies, and he'll start spraying so that everything is good and clean around it, and the flowers are all taken care of and are blooming when everybody comes. So we'll start working on that and getting things together, and we're going to have some great giveaways this time. We'll talk about what that's going to be a little closer to time, but we are getting our moon pies in, and if you're new to the area, it's an air-conditioned cabin. You go get what you want to eat and bring it in and sit and enjoy the cool air, visit with people, and then get up and leave. And we don't bother you with real estate. We just want you to come in and enjoy, and we'll have our agents there just to open the door for you and clean up the table for you after you leave, and just enjoy.
Doesn't get any better than that.
That's all. It's a hospitality cabin is what it is, and that's what we wanted to keep it as.
All right. This is Medina's turn.
Yeah, I'm going to let her talk now. I think
All
she's
right.
got a new listing she wants to talk about.
Oh, a new listing.
Yes, and when you come to the fair and you sit in the air conditioning cabin, that's a really nice place to be, especially these hot days.
Yes.
You come in and cool off and eat and everything. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. And the giveaways are really nice this year. So whenever she starts talking about it, it'll be really good this year. So you'll want to come by. But anyway, the new listing we have is going to be coming soon, and it's on Sparta Pike. Not Sparta Pike, Rome Pike. Rome Pike, 1104 Rome Pike. And it is a brick, one-level ranch home, and it's 2,100 square feet. It's 3 beds, 2 full baths, with a detached 2-car garage with a 2-car carport, located all on 2 acres.
All right.
So you have all of that, all for the bargain price of $479.9. This is the list price. It's a well-maintained ranch home. It has hardwood floors. It has tile. It has some carpet in it. Living room, dining room, large screened-in back porch. And it will be coming soon Monday next week. And give us a call to show you that one. I don't think it will last long on the market.
It's out in the Christy Jordan subdivision.
Yeah, that's to east of town.
That's right.
And it's in the country, sort of.
Yes.
But it's not far from town.
No, and you're on 2 acres. You don't have many homes at all in Christy Jordan that's on 2 acres.
And it's built by J.W. Van Hook, and it's a solidly built home.
So if you're looking to be on that side of town, you're looking in that price range, you're looking for a house that you just want to walk in and then you can do stuff to it as you want to throughout, but you can live there. That's no problem at all. It is a very well-maintained ranch home for $479.9.
Okay.
So give us a call on that one. And remember, we have a home in Lafayette. If you're looking to be that way, we have a lot of showings on that one this weekend. So we're hoping to have a new owner for that one pretty soon. And, of course, we have lots. If you're wanting to build or wanting just to purchase land just to have and hold on to, we have those, have lots on off Canoe Branch Road. We've got a 25-acre. We've got a half-acre. And then we have on Hiwassee down Carthage Highway, we have another one that's 5 acres. So if you're looking for some lots, call us and we may have just what you're looking for.
All right. Well, you've got a lot of options there. That's
yes, and we also have a farm on in Watertown on Haley Road that is 80 acres, and it's all fenced in. So if you're looking for that, and it's also got a 4-bedroom perk on it, then we're the ones to call. Give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you look at it or show you about it or whatever. So give us a call.
All right. Well, it's good to see you all today, and as I always let you have the last word, and I guess it's time for that.
Yes, and one more thing before I do my last word is yesterday Judy was 71.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you very much, Medina. No, it doesn't
I had to
bother
sneak
me.
it in there.
I'd forgot about the age, but I knew it was her birthday.
She's 71 and she wears it well, don't she?
Oh, absolutely.
And also, my nephew and her grandson is 8 today, Levi Henderson. He turns 8 today. So, in order of that, don't make a move without us.
All right. See y'all next Friday.
All
Have a
righty.
good one. We appreciate it. C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty. That's Miss Judy and Medina. Judy Cox, Medina Hemmentoller. And they're located at 1330 West Main here in Lebanon. People you can trust. Don't make a move without us. All right. I have invited John Jewell to come back and talk about the Jazz Festival this morning. And he is with us. We're going to have to do a little improvising here, but let's see. I guess this will probably work. John, good morning.
Morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well. We've got some people who have joined us right at the last minute here, along with you and Glenn Martin. So we're going to have 4 people to talk to.
If you don't mind.
But the Jazz Festival is upon us.
It is. It is. Next Saturday, the 10th of July.
And that
16th.
is
I'm sorry. 16th of July.
next a week from tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. I tell you what, let's do. Let's move that right over there, and we'll let. Now wait a minute, we're gonna get this wrong. This goes there. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, John, I think we're going to be able to hear you better.
Okay.
But you're here again to remind everybody of this. There's quite a bit of enthusiasm that goes with this. It generates overtime when people hear of it and hear who is going to be there. And you've got a stellar lineup again this year.
Well, we think it's good and solid. It covers a lot of areas. We sort of leaned toward 4 big bands. There's a Dixieland group, a West Coast group. We highlight 3 jazz instruments. The jazz organ, we'll have a B3, by the way, on stage. We were finally able to locate that. Jazz trombonist, and Jerry Tashwa is vibes, like Lionel Hampton.
Yeah.
And so it covers a pretty good area of jazz music.
Well, Glenn Martin is with us again, and Glenn, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You echo what John just said, I'm sure.
Right.
You have a leading role in this, and as we talked about the last time you were here, and the selection. Of course, you got to find somebody who's available and who fits the budget a little bit. Sometimes that comes into play, but I think you're real pleased with the lineup this year.
Yeah, yeah. Excuse me, I'm a little bit hoarse here. I think I got a cold or something. As John was saying, we got 4 big bands, and our big bands are local. Well, we got the Nashville Jazz Orchestra. That's all the professional musicians in Nashville, and then we've got 3 local community type bands. Music City Swing is also professional. They do more of the Benny Goodman, Tommy Dorsey type of thing. The Jazz Alliance is made up of band directors and teachers, and they play a variety of anything from swing to modern jazz. And then we have a group called Nightingale Jazz Band, which is made up of some former Cumberland University and MTSU students, and they play a variety of music also. And then we have our, my brain didn't go on me, we have 4 small groups. Our headliner is Joey DeFrancesco, who is a world-renowned organist, as John was talking about. And he is more on the contemporary side, but not far out.
Yeah.
And then we have Bob McChesney, who is probably the most virtuoso trombonist, one of the best known in the United States. Jerry Cron, a traditional Dixieland band, and who am I leaving out, John? Jerry Tashwa, he also travels the world. He and his wife, Marlena.
Well, it's sometimes amazing, almost the talent and that all you can actually get to come to Watertown for an evening for the jazz festival. But I know y'all put a lot of work into this. We are joined by 2 others this morning. It's almost time for a break here. But Robin Vance, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
You, I think, have been a supporter of whatever was happening in Watertown, but whether it was a jazz festival or some other musical venture that we've had, you've played a role in that too, right?
I have. I've been involved in some form since about 2002, I think.
And Jeff Tonks, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Now, what are you doing in all this? One thing, you're wearing purple today.
I thought I would brighten up the radio since I have that radio face. I thought I would help with the shirt as well. I kind of take care of the stages, the sound, make sure that all the nuts and bolts. Kind of watch John do it for so many years. I kind of take care of the backroom stuff that needs to be done day of.
Well, one thing about Watertown, you mentioned Jazz Festival, and that sort of identifies it, because I don't know anybody else that has one, at least they don't have one like you have. And the mile-long yard sale and the Jazz Festival are 2 events that are pretty much Watertown.
Synonymous, correct. Correct with the name.
But you are staying busy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've got some great acts coming. And just wanted to mention Joey DeFrancesco. If anybody is a Van Morrison fan, Joey plays on a lot of the Van Morrison albums. So that kind of gives you an idea. If you've never heard of him, you have. You just don't realize that he's the one. So.
Well, the thing about it is, it's all free. Now somebody's got
Yes.
to pay for it, and we've talked about that before. Your contributors and sponsors and so on. But as far as the general public is concerned, you come, and it's a good idea to bring your own lawn chair.
Yes, absolutely. We will put a couple of 3 sets of bleachers out there, but I'd recommend you bring your chairs. And
you want to be sure to have a place to sit.
You do. And let me say this, we did meet our financial goals. The program is a $60,000 budgeted program this year, and we're actually a few thousand over that. And so it really makes it a lot more relaxed when you think you're close to paying the bills.
Without a doubt. So this means you got a head start for next year then.
Well, a little bit, and let me say this too. I'd like to thank the Lebanon community, the Watertown community. We've had really good support this year,
And Mount Juliet.
and even in Smithville, we've even had support out of the Smithville area, and it's just been really strong this year. We've had to go get it. It's been a lot of work, but it's there.
Well, ask and you shall receive.
I guess that's what it amounts to.
All right. Time for us to take a break, and we'll be back with more in a moment. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's now 7:50. Let's see what's happening. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have a large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday, free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. A steady flow of traffic continues down I-65 coming through Robertson County right now. Some radar through Mount Juliet on I-40 through certain parts of Wilson County. Just be careful. They're really cracking down this Friday morning out here already with some radar. They're moving a wreck right now at Rosa Parks at Vantage Way. That's over at Metro Center. And 65 southbound near Armory is over to the side on that minor collision. Hey, Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, they are home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Go see them this weekend in person with 2 locations on the Parkway in downtown Gatlinburg. Order online at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
When you're Middle Tennessee's community bank, you have a greater responsibility than offering just a menu of financial services. At Wilson Bank and Trust, we make it our mission to know our neighbors, meet their needs, and invest in the communities we serve. Whether we are working with our students to build their youth savings or partnering with a local business owner to fulfill their dreams, our goal is always to make our communities even stronger. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of the fabric of Wilson County for more than 30 years and always supporting us in our efforts to serve you, give back, and grow. Member FDIC.
It's summertime, summertime.
The sun is shining, flowers are blooming, and it's time to get your backyard ready for all that summertime fun.
Well, if you want a bigger backyard, or maybe you don't want to mow anymore, let us help you find the home that fits your needs.
Houses are flying off the market so quickly, you really need to get a real estate agent to help you to find that dream home.
That's why you don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
Oh, the mayor.
Coleman and Company, we welcome you to our final segment here for a Friday morning. We're talking to Watertown Jazz Festival coming up a week from tomorrow in Watertown.
Correct.
And what time do you start?
The program begins at 1. The square will be blocked off about noon.
Mm-hmm.
And runs till the last act gets on stage about 9. The train will arrive. It will be with us also, and so we should have a good day if the weather holds. It looks like there's a possibility the weather's going to be pretty good. We hope.
When you have an outdoor event like this, and you're totally dependent on the weather, and you can't predict it, not too far in advance, you never know. There's been some times when you almost had a cloudburst, and then there's been times when it was so dry, so you don't know.
People will ask me, what kind of crowd do you expect? And I'll say, well, 2,000 to 3,000 if it doesn't rain. Last year, the first note that was struck, it began to rain.
Yeah.
And rained like crazy for about an hour, and then we had pretty good weather.
But just on that note, all our food vendors sold out of food, so it still turned out to be a
pretty good day.
Pretty good day, even with the rain.
Well, who's in charge of the food vendors?
Austin Floyd, the president of the chamber, she takes care of getting the food vendors.
But we haven't talked a lot about that. We spent most of our time talking about
Yes.
all the musicians that are going to be there and the quality and so on. But if you come, especially if you spend any length of time in this kind of weather, you want something to drink, and you probably want something to eat, and you got that taken care of.
There's about, I think she's got about 4 or 5 food booths, and then, of course, there's about 3 or 4 restaurants now open, and so there should be pretty good food in that.
Robin, we didn't let you say much this morning. We're not trying to keep you quiet, but you got some input here. John wanted you here, so we want you to talk.
Yes, John once again got me involved and has kept me involved now for many years. Very glad to be back working on this project. My part, I guess I would call it hospitality. I'm working with our corporate sponsors. I'll be hosting the VIP room for our corporate sponsors to come up and enjoy the event.
That's an important aspect that
It is.
most people wouldn't think about, but you've got to show a little appreciation there, because if it wasn't for them, you probably wouldn't be having this.
The idea is they support us, we want to support them, and we hope they will continue with this partnership through many years to come.
And we also have what's known as the green room, which is to support the entertainers with food and a place to relax. That has to be established. And DeFrancisco will be doing a seminar on his career, his music style. That will be held at the Delmonico Winery. Glenn and Scott Corley, the band director, he's also a member of our committee, will be kind of in charge of what goes on down there, and that's always a pretty interesting.
You wanna add to that, Glenn?
Well, Joey will be again demonstrating his ideas about how to play jazz and what is important to him with the music, and it's instructional also. He will be probably giving advice to beginning players. And while I'm on the subject of it, we're on the Jazz Festival, I would certainly encourage people to have children and grandchildren to get them to this festival, especially if they're interested in music, because it will be an education with some of the finest players from across the United States, and an opportunity for them to hear them and be inspired to their music by these fine players.
And people don't realize what's in Nashville. We think of country music and it's tremendous, and we think of gospel music, another strong faction in the Nashville area, but it is a recording capital, and that means all sorts of instruments, all sorts of entertainment, and qualified people. Studio musicians is what I'm talking about, and that's what makes up a lot of what we're doing here, is people who play in that industry. They're just good. It's just all you can say about it.
They're the backup musicians,
Yeah.
and when they put the music in front of them, they don't take time to rehearse. They say, okay, well, here's this song, take one, bang, they play it. And they're capable of reading the music and playing it correctly the first time.
Well, let me throw this out here. Jeff, you may want to comment. John, I know you will. Watertown is, I've known people who've asked, well, I've heard of Watertown. Where is Watertown? But once people come and see the quaint, it's quaint little town.
The atmosphere.
And they gravitate to it. You've seen that.
Oh, yes. Yes, I have, and I know all of us have. If you get into offices, law offices, doctors' offices, and places around Nashville, and you tell them where you're from, and that always comes up. Always comes up.
You want to add to that, Jeff?
I moved there 25 years ago this year, and have no desire to go anywhere else. I mean, it's been great. It's a lot of fun. It's allowed me to do a lot of things that I don't think I would have ever been able to do anywhere else.
Well, what are you doing right now, by the way?
Oh, I'm building homes, remodeling homes.
Okay. That's your livelihood.
Exactly.
And Robin, you still got the law office.
Still have Vance Law Office, been there almost 22 years.
We'll give you a little plug for coming in here this morning, and we got a couple of more minutes, 2 or 3 minutes here to wrap it up. But John, I know you and Glenn especially, as far as who you've got coming, you've put a lot of work and thought into that, and you got a great lineup. It starts at 1 o'clock next Saturday.
Next Saturday, yes.
And the last act starts at 9.
At 9.
So it should be over around 10 o'clock.
It should be. They're hour blocks. And Gary Beatty, again, is our master of ceremonies. Always
So
does a
you
fabulous
come
job.
and go as you please. Bring your lawn chair. You can stay for the whole 9 hours, 10 hours, if you want. But you don't have to.
That's 2 stages, and we don't have a lot of downtime between acts. It's expensive to do that, but it makes it move so fast, so smooth to segue from one to the other while one stage is setting up, one's playing. And it works
Well,
good.
Robin, I feel like you're very happy that it's the Real Jazz Festival is back. You had a few years there where you had a musical entertainment, but it really wasn't a jazz festival. And John's brought it back last year, and you're on the team with him and doing hospitality. That's great too.
That is correct. I tell you what, Coleman, when John and Sharon stepped back for a little while and tried to take a break from the original jazz festival, which they began, they kind of handed it to me as the chamber president at that time. And I have to say, it's a big job, a really big job. And without John and Jeff and all the work that they put in and all the volunteers that they can pull out, it was a difficult task.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that John's back in charge.
A couple of things I'd just like to comment before we have time. It's the best committee I have ever seen us work together. There's about 8 of us. Glenn's so good with the music. Everybody around this table and those who were not here all contribute so much in certain areas. They've all had experience in business, legal things, music. I mean, it's all right there, and it just has worked so well putting that together.
Well, we got to kind of close it out. Jeff, you wanted
The music seminar for D. Francisco is free, so there's no charge for that. So we would like to invite anybody that'd like to come down.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Come and enjoy yourself. Well, Jeff Tux and Robin Vance and Glenn Martin and John Jewell, thank you all for being with us today. And that's it for Friday. Have a nice weekend. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic